Jam.
Welcome. Where we remind you and ourselves
to think like you mean it
and love your life on purpose.
When I found that guidepost of nourishment, the game totally changed.
Yeah.
The whole my life changed from there. So it's been a process on that.
That's what I love about coaching. You know what I love about coaching is you don't tell a person do this. But it's really about giving people tools to think for themselves and giving them guideposts to ask better questions, to find answers that work for them. Like, I was talking to someone yesterday and they told me something about the relationship and they're like, what do you think? Is this what we should do? And I said, if somebody tells you that this is the answer for everybody, they are either lying or they don't know what they're talking about. Because there is no, this is how you should do, your relationship. If it works for you to be in separate cities and, see each other once a month and you're happy and he's happy, hey, that wouldn't work for me. That doesn't mean it wouldn't work for you.
So, but the idea of personal responsibility, almost radical personal responsibility, we want the magic pill to fix. We want the pill to fix us. We want the pill to do the work. We want the pill to work some magic that we don't have to work and embrace the extreme work involved. And so kind of is this what I should do? Just how do you have a perfect relationship? How do you have romantic perfect relationship?
Right.
Just tell me the rules. I'll just do those 5 things.
Right.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and then I want it to last for 50 years.
Yeah.
So there's that, it's responsibility over and over and over.
It's a decision every day. It's a decision every day. And for me, what drives me, is when you see shows like The Bachelor, all due respect to The Bachelor, but shows where there's 100 people doing the girls' makeup, and the guy didn't pick his clothes that day. He had someone make him match. You know what I'm saying? If not, he'd be wearing purple socks or something. And then you watch this on TV and you think, oh, I want to be like that. Well, if you had 200 people, producing your date would be like that. Now, what I'd like to know is, was that date really fun for them? How were they feeling during that date? Because what we see is just a smidgen of everything that's happening. So for me, all of these messages that we get from all these different sources put these ideas in our head oh my gosh, if it's not the perfect date like what I saw on TV or what I read in a magazine, then something's wrong with me. Mm-hmm. And that's a lie. Nothing is wrong with you, number one. And number two, just because it looks really pretty doesn't mean that it's a perfect anything.
Fantasticals. So that's reminding me of a great gift that I got this weekend. And you're like me in this way. She is Bubblyville, and yet we both rejuvenate, regenerate by. In how do you put it, in private or
being alone? I need alone time.
Yeah.
I love people, but I need time to be alone.
Yeah. And we're grateful for the opportunity to be with others, and yet there are times where that energy has gone out, and it's time for us to regroup and recollect ourselves and reconnect with ourselves and give ourselves some space. So I believe I never would have thought that about Maggie without having known her, and you shared that with me. I wouldn't have guessed that in a million years. But I have been in a struggle against myself, not accepting that part of me, because what I have been telling myself is this idea of should. Mm-hmm. My date should look like The Bachelor. Mm-hmm. I've been making myself wrong, thinking that I should be different, and that I should be gregarious 24/7, and that I only see some of these beautiful, beautiful people 2 days out of an entire year, and so my energy should be able to go nonstop. I don't want to miss anything. I should be soaking up every single second in their presence somehow, because I'm not gonna see them. but what's true is that I don't enjoy that
24/7.
24/7, and that there's a time when I'm tired, and there's a time when it's very, very loving and peaceful for me to regroup and to perhaps, which I did yesterday, did not go to lunch with anyone, and I went up to the hotel room and I played my favorite Carlos Nakai CD and put my feet up, elevated them, and helped my back a little bit, some of the knots in my back. And normally when I do that, I would be telling myself how, oh God, I'd be telling myself such
Lies.
sad things.
See, that's when I would say, stop that.
Now. Do not wait until later in the day. Do it now.
Yeah.
So I would just be telling myself how I should have more energy. I shouldn't be tired. I should be with people. I should not be alone. I'm being antisocial. And in
Lies.
Exactly. And so one of the nuggets and gems that I got is and I was peaceful through that lunch. And some of those thoughts they came up, but they just I didn't grab onto them. I didn't give them roots. I didn't water them. I didn't give them any sunlight. They just wafted through. It was clearly one of those. It's your mind thinks stuff.
And we had never talked about that before, even though we talk all the time.
There's only so much you can talk about.
I know, right? But then it came up where I was also sharing. I said, people often don't believe me when I tell them I'm an introvert, because when I'm around people, I really enjoy that experience.
What you talking about, Maggie?
Like that. Really? But being an introvert is how you recharge. It's not how you are with people. It's how you recharge for yourself. So some people feel energized and empowered being in a huge, boisterous group of people, and that's how they actually recharge. And some people recharge in a quiet room alone with a book, with a journal, just sitting. And for me to recharge, I do that by myself. I don't do that around people. It takes energy for me to be around people, but I enjoy expending that energy.
Yes. And where I would have conflict and tension is that, let's say something like this, like a mastermind with people I don't see very often, or family members, it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, that I would want to recharge by going into the bedroom, taking a nap, stepping away, taking a bath. I mean, it took me over 20 years to take a bath during a family visit, because it was so wrong for me to need that. And that was just like, they don't care. They really don't care. And I'm much funner to be around when I am recharged.
When you're recharged, yes.
When I'm recharged. I used to take a nap. I didn't even want, and I can see it now. Okay, I would be in the lazy boy recliner with like an Afghan over my head taking a nap, because I should be with them
in the room.
So I was taking a nap with an Afghan. It was like, I'm invisible, but I'm here. I'm doing what I should be doing. I'm with you. I cannot leave the room and go take a darn nap. That's so funny.
But that was 20 years where if you would have, I just discovered coaching like 3 years ago, but if you would have known then that somebody would have come into your life and said, stop that.
Yes.
Now. That would have been a good thing.
Yeah, and that there is no, and that it's okay. So it's okay to be who you are. It's okay. I used to think that there was fundamentally something wrong with me, that I should not be a person that needs to recharge in solitude. I should be gregarious 24/7, and that is the friction, because there's a part of you that knows there's nothing wrong with being exactly who you are.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with being exactly who you are. It's okay. There are people with different natures. Exactly. And when you're fighting your own true nature, that does not feel good. No. And so that's a bit of peace that I'm coming away with. That it's